miss y'all. I just gotta say that today was.
We miss you too, girl.
I just want to say, I feel like since I cried in front of all of you, I might have to just off all of you because I do not cry in front of anybody. I do not. Okay, I do not.
No, that's I can speak to that too because it symbolizes a safe place. You
It
know, you
does.
can't really
A
articulate it,
vulnerability.
but it's a feeling. Like I feel
Mhm,
where I can be vulnerable and very
mhm.
transparent. You know,
Right.
that's a great place to be in. Great place
It
to
is.
be
And
in.
I'll just also throw in there that back to what both of you were saying is that I didn't know your story. I didn't know all that. I knew that you lived in New York and I knew that you
Mm-hmm.
assisted here, but that whole like meat heart of who you are, like and I've known Ashley for 11 years, 10 years,
Mm-hmm.
right? So like
Mm-hmm.
it's nice, it's refreshing, and I think that more than anything, more things like this need to happen. This is what
Yeah.
this is what energizes everybody.
Yeah.
One of the things
Agree.
I just want to let you know, I think I felt that we all have in common is being like a strong Black woman. Most
True.
people from afar may feel like you're not that approachable, right? Because you're about business. Excuse my French, you may have that resting bitch face or something, like because
Mm-hmm.
you're focused. And that's what I love
Right.
when you be like, my focus face. When you're doing your hair, you getting in there
Right.
real good, like that
Right.
focused
Mm-hmm.
face.
Mm-hmm.
And people are not, or they don't have the opportunity to pull back the onion layers to get to the center. And like I tell people, I don't tell people all the time, but I think that Brandy is a powder puff in the inside,
That's
100%.
I
not
can
the truth.
tell.
That's not the truth. I've done time in jail. That's not the truth. No, I have not.
And
I have not.
like I've been able to like grow and get to know you guys in I feel like in a different way. Like I love the fact that I've seen Yanae graduate from college. I've seen
Mm-hmm.
her, you know, I'm in love. There's some bullshit. What do I
Right.
do?
Right.
But we've all had that. I know she had me in my chair, and I don't know how many times I was like, I'm leaving. And I remember one day we were both crying. She's crying. She's like, "Oh, I miss you." I'm like, "I miss y'all
Mm-hmm.
too." But like, I had to come into my own of figuring out my life and what I wanted my life to look like. And I had to be strong and hard all day long, every day of the week. But it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't until I could get into her chair that I could release and let it out and let my hair down
Mm-hmm.
and just and soft and vulnerable. And so
But
I
that's
that's
it
what I
right
felt.
there. That's the salon. That's the salon experience.
It
That's the
is.
origin of the Black Salon. Because
Mm-hmm.
literally, I'm not making this shit up, and y'all know we couldn't speak. We couldn't tell. Our husbands were out doing whatever. Heaven knows that they're being lynched. We had nowhere to go. The salon was the place that women went to and let it all out because Black
Yeah.
women,
Yeah.
we didn't have a choice. We didn't have a choice to sit and think. We didn't have the option of saying no. We had
Right.
to be
Yeah.
on all the time. So the salon was the place. And that is carried over decade after decade after decade. That's still such a powerful thing. And it's only the Black salon that does that.
Mm-hmm.
You
You're
know what I'm
right.
saying?
Actually,
And so,
Absolutely.
there
huh?
was an article. Did you read that article in Birdie about the Black Salon is the only place a Black woman, the only type of therapy a Black woman could afford? Is the
Yes,
hair.
yes,
And
yes, I did.
it's the truth. And I think, and the thing that's unique about it is I always say the salon is the glue that keeps the community together. My
It
aunt
is.
always used to say, Falami, my aunt, she'd be like, a man could be the head of the household, but a Black woman is always the neck. And
Absolutely.
what what I think that we do, it's at as stylists, I learn so much from my clients. They pour into me, and I pour into them, and it's like it's the meeting point. It's the source of information, and then you go out like little minions. Like we fight the fight, put out fire.
I'm so excited to announce to you my sisters, Yene Damtu, Brandy Eames, and Ashley Taylor. Welcome, ladies. During this time, usually you're with your clients every week. You guys are able to connect and have these different types of relationships with people. How are you trying to connect now? How are you able to keep in touch with your clients during quarantine?
So quarantine has definitely been a challenge, and staying connected with clients is something that is important to me during this period and when this period is over. So through social media, we do newsletters at Aesthetic Salon where we're giving updates and tips. Text messages, a lot of clients have reached out, which has been great. So just, digitally, right? Everything has shifted. And so just really relying on technology to kind of still create personal relationships and cultivate them.
Pretty much just very similar to Yene, and I'm sure all of us. I've had my thank God for Instagram moments, because it's a way that we reach thousands of people.
With Brandy, I know she recently had a personal tragedy. Unfortunately, her home burning down. Her clients in community came together in support of her. If you can tell me a little bit about like how you're doing and how has it been to have everyone support you and your family right now?
Really overwhelming, because it just goes to show you how many people are really for you, and you have no idea, and their people come for you to take care of you. And me, I am used to being there for everybody else. I'm not used to having someone be there for me. I am the giver. I'm showing up. What do you need? Do you need this? And then they were doing it for me, and it was really overwhelming.
There's been a lot of grace, a lot of grace, a lot of patience. And because this is so new, this is a new space for all of us.
Yeah.
And someone simply saying, Ashley, it's okay, I understand.
Yeah.
The value in that it's invaluable.
It wasn't just the relationship that we've created with our clients, but I think that I have to really lean on to my colleagues, right? People that I've worked with along the way, people who are sharing information that are local, right? That are like, this is what we're doing at my salon. What are you doing? So it's not just the community that's created with like the client professional relationship, but amongst one another. I think, like Ashley said, thanks to the coronavirus, we really the community feel within hairstylists, where it's stylist supporting stylist, where it's collaboration over competition. I'm seeing that more than ever.
I would love to hear, your journey, how you got started, in becoming, who you are today.
I went to high school when I was 16. I relocated to the DMV area at the age of 21. I always loved hair. Did hair when I was in high school, did hair when I was in middle school, and kind of convinced my parents to let me go to hair school. What's interesting is I'm a child of immigrants, and being a hairstylist is not acceptable. It's not qualified job, and so I dealt with a lot of backlash. See, I'm gonna cry. I dealt with backlash.
Okay.
A lot of things, something that a lot of people don't know
It's
is
okay. Yeah.
when I moved to DC, I didn't talk to my dad for like 3 months. He was like, "You're dropping out of college. I can't believe you, like, after everything that we've done." for you to provide you a better life and
Mm.
that whole thing. And it was, for me, that is what pushed me. That was what was like, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do it great. And so fast
Excel.
forward 11 years later, I have my own salon. I support my parents, I support myself, I support my family, I support my community, and it feels good, right? Like that's a part of my journey. A part of my journey is not just the highlight reel that you see on social media and the people that I work with, but the failures. I celebrate those because that's been the fire to ignite me. And as I think about the role of my journey and my experiences and how it relates to my clientele, I try to find those moments, right? It's the vulnerable moments, it's the moments of, feeling like whatever you want, no one's going to support you, that I really
Yeah.
lean in on with my clients, and it allows me to lean into them, but it also allows me to grow. Coming up in this industry at such a young age, I was still trying to really discover who I was, and DC is a hard place to do that. It's everyone asks you where you go to school, and
Yeah.
again, people just don't have respect for our industry and creatives.
What does Janae have next?
I feel like my purpose in life is to be of service to others, and hair is the vehicle and vessel in which I'm allowed to do that, right? Connecting with people, telling people stories, empowering people. I love this industry. I love hair. I love beauty. And for me, I'm big on education and understanding and changing the mindset that the lack of value for hairstylists. And I think that as I think about what's next, I want to continue to educate and empower the next generation of hairstylists. Collaborate with other industry veterans and pioneers who are doing it now, and kind of giving a voice to people in this industry who may not be Instagram famous or may not have the following, but are doing amazing things. Ashley is always inspiring me. Like I follow her on Instagram and I'm kind of like, she's doing this, that's dope. Like, and people don't know, unless you're in DC, people don't know who Ashley Taylor is. But her story is just as important as if people know my story for whatever reason. I think it's weird when people recognize me for after Becoming came out. I'm like, this is weird. I don't like it. But I also had to lean into my calling and understand that I'm able to positively inspire people, right? Like someone that is young or whose parents, I've had a lot of people just kind of be like, oh, well, I didn't think that I could amount to anything doing hair. And people who know me since childhood are like, oh, I'm so proud of you. And I'm like, were you proud of me when
Yeah.
I put it on a big screen? And it's just like, how do I then reinforce that confidence into other people? So for me, what's next is I have a education program. I use my degree to really educate hairstylists on the business side to do better, to understand our finances and understand that we are valued, we're necessary, and we're important.
I've been wanting to do hair since I was 3. Um, so I did that. When my cousins were talking about that they're gonna be pediatricians and doctors and whatever, and I'm like, I'm gonna be doing hair. Y'all could come to me, get y'all hair done. Fine. I am the only one out of all of them who is living in their moment. Um, Fast forward. Um, I worked under a lot of mentors, and I'm grateful for the experience. I think my journey was based on people telling me what I couldn't do. I
Hmm.
couldn't be as good as someone else, or I wouldn't be as successful. And I don't want to be more successful than anybody. I just want to be successful enough for me, and I'm good with that. I've always wanted to transition into movie and TV, and of course, you have to speak it into existence and wait for your wave to come and then ride it.
I know there's a little bit of New York in the Taylor in New York. Tell me a
Mm-hmm.
little bit about, your history and how it molded you.
Went to college for probably 20 minutes and realized that this wasn't
Wasn't for
it.
you.
It wasn't for me. I want to do hair. I have family in New York. My maternal side is from New York, and I was in the salon, and it was a pull. Dropped everything, like literally left my apartment, moved to New York, had nowhere to stay. I used to sleep in my Maxima in the parking lot. It was this hotel in New Jersey, I think called the Paradise Hotel. It was this raunchy hotel. I stayed in different people's homes that I didn't even know in every borough. I mean, talking from eating rice with soy sauce. And I began to read the book, The Seat of the Soul by Gary Zirkov. And it changed my life.
With cities opening up and you guys are preparing your salons to reopen, how are you moving forward to uh, safe services, like making sure that you have everything you need to service your clients?
I do offer what is a house call, um, because my older clients want to feel safe. I mean, because the COVID seemed to attack the older clients or the older aged women or men more than the younger. Um, but moving forward for clients coming into my salon, we have sanitizing stations set up. We have disposable everything. We're taking their temperatures. We're providing masks. We're doing everything we can to make sure everybody is safe, as safe as possible. But getting your hair done is an at-risk service. You know, if you want your hair done, you have to be willing to take the risk to step out into an environment that you haven't been in during quarantine. And that is scary. I myself experienced a bit of anxiety trying to get because during losing my home, I am staying with my mother-in-law and my father-in-law, and they are older. And I really felt a moment of I didn't want to get them sick
Yeah.
because you don't know
And
who people are around. You know who you are around, but you don't want to bring it to you don't want to bring it home and harm anybody else. So that was a challenge for me to try and grasp that and get that together because I don't want to make anyone sick. I want
yeah.
everybody to be healthy and safe. And I had a really long talk with my husband about that because I was like, I don't want to make your parents sick. Is it okay for us to be here? You know? And I feel like with taking my temperature every day and making sure it's steady and making sure everybody else's temperature is steady, it might be okay to be here.
So there's definitely going to be a lot of different changes here. Uh, Similar to Ashley, similar to Brandy, I think that we all kind of, the stigma of the Black Salon and Black Salon experience is different for us, where we do work by appointment and it is really intimate. So I think that for that, there's not that many changes as far as the rules of being by appointment only. That's something that we do here. But what is going to change is the space, right? Like I probably will work longer. But to be fully honest and transparent, similar to like the apprehension that Brandy has, I'm not gonna. I'm not worried about me, right? Like I'm not worried about where I've been because I know where I've been. I am skeptical about where my clients have been. I am skeptical about their safety as far as what they're doing to protect themselves. But I'm also worried about if they're being negligent and they're bringing that into my space. Not only are they exposing me, but they're exposing other people, right? As much as I disinfect, I just don't know. So I have decided to wait a little bit. Even Virginia is supposedly supposed to be able to open on Friday. We are just kind of going to watch the numbers and do what feels comfortable. Time management is definitely changing with we don't double book already, but there's not going to be. I remodeled, I got rid of my waiting area. There is no waiting area. So unless you're being serviced, you won't be in my establishment. And some people, I've got backlash from clients. I've had clients that are like, I need to get in, and I need to get in now, and I need to bring so and so, and I'm kind of like, I don't know what we're doing yet, and so things are going to be different. The experience is going to be different, and it's going to be. I don't want to compromise the intimacy, but at the same time, I want to make sure that we're protected as stylists because we're going to be exposed to more people than the clients are, right? Like when you're servicing 8 to 10 people a day, that's 10 opportunities for us to be exposed, rather than you having one opportunity to be exposed by coming in here. So I think that I'm thinking about my health and the safety of my staff first, and then getting to the needs of my clients.
Some things for me are going to switch, but I will say that I will definitely focus more on color because let's be clear, these lights don't stay on by themselves. This building is not free.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, we all need to pay bills, but what is going to make it worth it? Where I'm going to leave my family, and like Brandy said, it's a risk. Like I'm going to risk, coming out and and doing this. I will say that we aren't going to see any new clients for a while, even though we definitely are appointment only. There's still, we still are referral based, but in order for all of our existing salon family to get used to the new routine, get used to probably only seeing, spending maybe 2 hours with a blowout, but you being the only one in there, and that 10 to 15 minutes in between that for a sanitation on top of no more, late. I think I'm being gracious and, well, let me take that back. I think I'm being generous with having, we can't see anybody who's more than 5 minutes late for their appointment. Just keeping in communication with the clients, like this is going to be new for all of us. I might have to explore a price increase, but our price point, and this goes back to, back to value. Our price point is such for times like these. Yeah, I might not be able to have Starbucks every day, but I'm not going to be worried about, oh Lord, am I going to be able to make rent?
Thank you for tuning in to the hair care segment of Fashion in Quarantine. Don't miss the next episode, Friday, 11 a.m.